Good morning, guys. How are you? This is Jermaine McCrimmon, and welcome to Humanity Unplugged podcast. I'm your host. We are here one more time, and again, thanking God for another day that He allows us to come by and stop by just for a little while to give you guys some information. And I want to thank you guys for all your support and your continual support on all our social media platforms. You guys are awesome. Uh, it's not easy coming here twice a week, but we do it because you guys continue to show us love as well. Uh, this is a great show, and I thank God for you guys who continue to so support the haters that hate, say what they say. We thank you. We motivate you to keep doing what you're doing. If you think that's making you feel better and that can brighten up your horizon, please continue to do it. It's all right with us. Well, we like to give out information here on this platform. Take off your shoes, relax your feet, as they say, party on down to the funky beat of some factual information. You don't have to like what's being said because this is my information, my research, what I've done. I could be wrong on some things. Uh, I'm not being deliberate if I am wrong. I'm not trying to make anyone sound bad. I'm just here to give you common sense, a little reality in your world. And the reality is, constantly over time, we are in a fight for our life. Today is our 144th episode. We've been doing this for now a year and a half because we have reached 6 months of 2026. And we have 44 episodes or more in this year. Last year, we went over the 100 mark. I just mismarked it or, numbered it wrong. But nevertheless, I'm happy to continually be here giving you guys this information. A lot of the research is done by the team here and our supporters, and we get this information and we try to push it out to enlighten our community and let everyone know what's going on around the world. Well, a lot of things have taken place in the last 4 to 5 months, and one thing have stayed around for certain. In certain areas in the world, I will remain from going there and visiting and hanging out. And Mississippi is one of them. Florida is another place that I do not like going to because there's a lot of hanging out there. There's a lot of police brutality in Mississippi and a lot of racism. And I know people from all other nationalities look at us and say, blacks are always talking about racism. Blacks are always talking about why they're not being treated fairly. Why is African American people always complaining about society being against them? I feel there's no need to answer that question because you see it blatantly in your everyday life. If you don't stand up for something, you will fall for anything. That's the saying. Constantly, we have had people get executed and murdered, whether young or old, and they are men or women or children of color. I don't know if y'all remember the red hoodie. hmm I don't know if y'all remember what happened out in Denver, Colorado, or I believe it was out in Minnesota. I'm sorry, Minnesota. It is always incidents happening Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, of racism and people being prejudiced or against people of color. Sometimes we hear retaliation, but majority of the time, we are the victims. And no matter if you wake up every morning and close your eyes to the facts and what you see or what you might hear, it happens at a high clip. It's not being reported. Things happen. Oh, in France, we had three African-American females drowned in the water in, I believe, in London or France. I did a cover of that. Right here, Juneteenth, girl got hung by a tree in Florida, Orlando. Juneteenth just passed. Kid back in April shot up in South Carolina. I think it's Aiken, South Carolina. Black kid, 17 years old, ahead of his class, got shot, killed. White folks behind it, 4 of them, mother, father, two boys. They covered it up. Barely got any coverage of it. It happened back in April. 2 minutes worth of coverage. Kid executed for no reason. 17 years old, head of the class, no problems. A+ student, gone. Things like this constantly happen. And now what I'm about to bring y'all is what happened out in Mississippi. A lot of people can say that we are overthinking stuff and we are just reacting to things that happen in our community. No, we getting picked off one by one. That's really what's happening. Whether it's for body parts, organs, execution style of just trying to kill a race off, it is happening over and over and over. And no one's doing nothing about it. FBI, whoever it is, it's happening. So now we have a young child, a 1-year-old, happened in Mississippi 10 days ago or less. And cops get a call to go out to Walmart because of a shoplifting case of a woman allegedly stole Pampers. Cops come out. Allegedly, cops say the lady was driving toward them and using the vehicle as a weapon. So they fired shots into the car. They killed the 1-year-old child. Now, I would agree with you that this happened out in Minnesota, similar thing where everybody on TikTok, everybody on Facebook, everybody complained and said, Jermaine, you don't know what you're talking about. The car was going at the officer. He had every right to shoot the driver in the car when it happened out in Minnesota. And I got criticized for it. And people said a whole lot of jibber jabber out their mouth. I know you ain't heard that in years. Jibber jabber. I'm old school. Anyway, it was beautiful to see all the criticism and the people say what they say, because I don't care. I mean, say what you want to say. You can call me anything other than a child of God, and I wouldn't care if you did. Whatever. But people were saying a lot of stuff, but the facts came out. And of course, put one more down for the home team. It was determined that the car was not going after the guy, and he shot her for no reason. It was a fact. It was proven. And again, I tell you this, I wasn't there in Minnesota, and I'm not here in Mississippi. But according to my research, according to people, witnesses, they all claimed that the lady was driving away from the officers and they shot and ran after the car. Now, if that happened, that's not policy or procedure. And that's what kills me with police officers and being a former police. Policy and procedure is what you go by. I know that people like to put their own spin on it. But there's a procedure and policy just about for everything. And as a citizen, you need to know your rights. That's your policy and your procedure, your rights. Citizens have rights. Police have rights. And they have to work under the structure of fast thinking, critical thinking, emergency response, and live action. And it's a split-second decision. You could take a life, you can save a life in a split second. And I applaud all police officers around the world who are doing an outstanding job, who are working nonstop to keep our community and our environment safe. It is not an easy job. Being a cop or becoming an officer is one of the most strenuous things you can put on your entire family. This is not a one-man job. This is a family job. When you decide to become an officer of the law, your family decides to become an officer of the law. Your children decides to become an officer of the law. They will continue to be scrutinized, looked at, and picked apart because of your life decisions that you take every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no real off button for officer. There's no really a way where you punch out and you cover your face to what you see. And that is the strenuous job of an officer. So I applaud all the cops that makes a difference in our communities and all the officers that stay late and all the ones that dedicate getting that child that was lost back home safely, because this is a job that's not cut for the faint. You got to be strong in this field of becoming an officer, and your jurisdiction and understanding your policy and procedure is your lifeline. Split the second decisions you make in crisis intervention is deadly in your everyday going back home. And it's not easy to get back home safely. Most people that work in law enforcement have other addictions on the side. Some people may gamble, some may drink, some may smoke, some people are aggressive, some people got hypertension, some people are just mind messed up afterwards because it takes a toll on their entire life. And if they have families involved, most marriages don't last because you're constantly under stress. And I want to commend those who stay married, who stay in the game through all the ups and downs. I applaud you because that is not an easy decision. You are supporting someone's dream by being in that dream with them. And it might have nightmares. It might have times where it's not sunny being a cop, but that's the decision you make and wanting to give back to your community and be a light in your environment. So these Mississippi police arrive at Walmart and they see this woman in the car. Whether you want to say she drove at them or she drove away from them, either way, shots were fired. Now, I want to ask you a question. The question I want to ask, if she in fact was driving at them, the bullets in the car will show indication of being hit in the front, maybe in the glass, side doors. Entry of the bullet will be seen in the vehicle. We will agree to that. If she was shot, the car was shot, and she was driving away from them, then maybe we have entries of the bullets hitting the vehicle from behind because she was driving away from them. This is point blank facts, period, right? We don't have to debate that. This is a fact. This is something that every police department, DNA, forensics, we all know 1 and 1 is 2. This is simple stuff you can look at within minutes and figure out a couple of things. One is the bullet's entry. 1, who shot the bullet. 2, where the officer was standing just about because of video footage and also reflection of the bullet hitting the car. That is a fact. We don't have to go over this like this is algebra 5th ward, right? Let's be real. That's easy to tell that. These are officers and investigators and forensic people that have been in the job long enough, who have had a couple of cups of coffee, and they know how to push the paper on the pen on the paper, and put a period where it's needed. We know what we're looking at, right? We done solved many murders. We done did a lot of things. So we're not going to act like it's not that. So, bullets were fired, guns were dispersed, it shot, bullets hit the car, and a life was taken. Now, my question to you is, if they shot at the car while it was going away, that's where we have a problem. Because this is shoplifting. That was the call, right? Shoplifting. Okay. Deadly physical force for shoplifting on a $20, $25 box of Pampers. That's what we did. That's the policy. That's what happened. Now, that's just me giving you that angle. Like I said, I wasn't there. The narrative is the narrative. I don't know. We don't know exactly what took place yet. We're going to listen. Excuse me. We're going to get into it. I got my cup of coffee. Okay? I got my cup of coffee. And my people know if I have my cup of coffee, I'm good to go. All right? And we're going to do the coffee dance. We're going to find out what's going on. Now, my question to you is, a 1-year-old child is no longer living because of bad decision making. However, did the mother even know a call was placed out for shoplifting on a box of Pampers? The caveat to all this is the woman wasn't charged with anything. I'll say it again. The woman involved in this whole thing was never arrested. She never was charged with shoplifting, but yet her child is dead. Somewhere down the line, this has to stop. We're constantly making bad judgment calls on opening door shut cases. Even if she stole the Pampers and she was driving away and we got it on camera, we could chase her down, pull her over, nice and easy, and take care of it, right? Was police in Mississippi overreacting? I don't know. Let's listen up to what they got. Let's see what we can pick apart. And let's see what we got, right? Here we go.
In Mississippi after police opened fire on a moving vehicle and shot and killed a 1-year-old boy last Sunday. Furthering the outrage, this stemmed from an alleged shoplifting case at a Walmart. Police say the suspect was behind the wheel and accelerating towards them when one of the officers fired that fatal shot. Scripps News senior national correspondent Jay Gray is looking into this case. So, Jay, when you see this picture of this 1-year-old, you can't help but wonder how something like this could have happened. I understand the family is calling for an independent autopsy. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, Andrew, the family's attorneys say they're just concerned overall with the transparency of this investigation, say they are worried about how it is going to be carried out. And they also are saying that the mother of the young boy, she's disputing a police account of how he was killed.
Justice for baby Cohen? Yes for baby Cohen!
Calls for justice just days after one-year-old Kohen Wiley was shot and killed by police responding to a shoplifting call in northwest Mississippi. This video showing the scene playing out in a Walmart parking lot in the small town.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys, the lady was driving away. The video just showed it. Now, that was her car. The car was going away from everybody.
Of Senatobia.
Police were running toward
over a box
car.
of diapers.
I'm just saying.
And a family now has to bury their baby. You cannot put those two things next to each other and call it reasonable policing.
An officer firing shots into a car he alleges was accelerating toward him, something Cohen's mother, a passenger in the vehicle, denies. Vellesiya Wiley also says she held Cohen up so officers would know there was a baby in the car just before the shots were fired.
I watched my baby take his...
Now, before she talks, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not blaming the mother. I'm not blaming police. But it does appear like they came over to the car. And when they went over to the car, she pulled out and started going. Now, if she did that, because the door swung open, if she did that and the cops were there, she's just as fault as they are. Because if you know you ain't steal nothing, and you know you have a child there, 1-year-old, where you going? Let them search you and do whatever they need to do, because you know you got a receipt for your Pampers and we can go about our business. It's that simple. I don't know, guys. Look a little fishy.
First breath, and I watched my baby take his last breath.
The officer...
Now, the mother looked like she's no more than 17, 18.
Who fired the shots has been placed on administrative leave. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation promising transparency as they gather evidence, including security and police body cam video of the incident. The MBI promising to release that video, but only after the investigation is complete.
We don't have to wait 6 to 9 months. They can release the body cam footage of the officers. The officers have body cams on. Yeah. We know if their lives were in danger because we can tell from the body cam footage.
Attorneys for Wiley's family have requested an independent autopsy. There will be a public funeral for Cohen, which could come as early as the weekend. Now, a couple of other quick points in this case. The driver of the car was critically injured during that shooting. Her injuries, though, not considered life-threatening. Also, Cohen's mother has not been accused or charged with shoplifting following the incident. So,
well, you think you kill her boy, you're going to arrest her too for shoplifting? So, you know, that crosses out anything. But if she wasn't shoplifting, if the Pampers have a receipt, then we have another story.
a lot to sort out here, obviously, Andrew.
And Jay, this is a small town, and it is one that is familiar with tension between the community and police. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, community advocates telling us that the death of Cohen is really a, quote, breaking point after multiple incidents in the city across the span of the last several years, including an officer threatening a black woman with a taser, then pulling her from her car to the ground after a confrontation over a handicapped parking spot. And that happened, Andrew, in the same Walmart parking lot where this shooting occurred.
Wow. Senior national correspondent Jay Gray. Jay, thank you for you.
So as you see, that Walmart is hot. A lot of things be happening at that Walmart. Well, I have another little piece for you to listen to so you can see after a little bit of investigation, what's going on. Listen up. This is one of the officials, Wiley.
I'm Commissioner Sean Tyndall with the
Sean
Mississippi
Tyndall.
Department of Public Safety. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety oversees 11 different divisions, including the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. In 2022, legislation was passed that required the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation to investigate all officer-involved shootings in the state of Mississippi. As part of that legislation, once that investigation is complete, our files are turned over to the Mississippi Attorney General's office, and they will review and make a determination as to whether or not to present that case to a grand jury and whether or not that trial against any officers would proceed after that point. This was done to bring independence to the process, one where the public could trust the process knowing that it was independent from local agencies. Mississippi Bureau of Investigation policy now dictates that once that investigation is complete, our entire file, as well as any evidence collected, body cam footage, dash cam footage, surveillance footage, will also be available to the public as part of a public records request. The purpose for that is because we believe that transparency creates accountability, and with accountability, we're able to maintain the public trust. Those policies and procedures will be followed in this case as well.
I told y'all, policy
Make
and
no
procedures.
mistake, this is a very tragic situation. I want the public to be assured that the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation will conduct its independent investigation. We have 5 agents working on this case,
5
gathering
agents
statements,
working on this case.
gathering evidence, and working diligently to prepare a file to present to the AG's office. I would ask that the public maintain patience as much as possible. And I know this is a very frustrating time, but maintain patience as this process is done. And keep in mind that it's important for us to be able to interview witnesses without threat of intimidation. And one of the things that we don't want to have is witnesses that are afraid to come forward out of intimidation. So it's important that we keep civility during this process so that we can get to the bottom of it and we can analyze all the evidence and then ultimately make it available to you all. And again, I understand your frustration. Unfortunately, these incidences have occurred all over the state of Mississippi. And over the last several years, NBI has done numerous investigations. And in all those cases, the ultimate findings were made available to the public. And so I want you to be assured that it will be a thorough investigation and it will be one where transparency is there.
So you see, he said it's happening all over Mississippi. So this is a problem because it's happening all over Mississippi. This is nothing that's just popped up yesterday. Mississippi is known for taking out people with a dark skin shade. I'm just saying.
All right, so this.
We got a little commercial break real quick. I'm going to get right back to it. But he's one of the guys that's leading the investigation. And, you know.
I'll be glad to answer any questions from the media first, if there are any that you might have about the process.
So
I will not get into the details of the investigation. I would have everybody keep in mind this just occurred about 48 hours ago. So it's still a very, very new investigation.
I'm Rob Sneed with Fox 13 News. Question about the actual body cam video. When is that expected to be?
I'm going to stop that, guys, because there's so much noise in the background you can't hear. The young man is asking about body cam, but they're outside. They should have did this inside of an auditorium where they could have had more of a controlled environment. And that way you can really get down to the nitty gritty. But of course, they don't want that. So you have it outside where you got the fire trucks, you got cops going by, you got cars, you got people walking by. You make it very frustrating for the community to get questions answered and questions entered because of the fact you don't have a lot of information anyway. Matter of fact, he just told you it's still new, 48 hours. So they just did it because they didn't want to be like they're not saying anything. So they wanted somebody to know something. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. They don't want you to be in the dark for so long. They want to give you something, right? So I get it. And that's what you got to do. You know, you have to be transparent with the community and try to keep the trust of what you're doing is legit. If there's any effery involved, they can sense it. They just go off, like the lady that outburst while he was talking. You know, how long is it going to take you to do an investigation? Well, it's only 48 hours old, so investigation takes longer than that. I'm sorry. When a life is lost and you're going to take somebody else's freedom away, it's going to take a little while. You know, you want to make sure when you go forward, you're moving on solid foundation. And unfortunately, this child life is lost, but I have to hold accountability to the mother as well, because the car clearly looked like the car was moving and the door was open. Where are you going? Where are you going when police pull up on you got a 1-year-old? Watch this. If it is, in fact, you stealing some Pampers, they're not going to take you to jail for Pampers. And if they do, how long are you going to stay in the system for a box of Pampers that you were trying to provide for your family in a crisis right now, where gas is $6 a gallon? I mean, we got to use our brain bigger than that. Where's the father at? I hate to say it. Where the father at? Now, this kid looked like he was the father. He out there. I don't know. He might be the daddy. Maybe he ain't worth, I don't know. Where's the mother's parents at? I don't know, because the mother looked like she's about 15. Honest to God. I don't know. A lot of questions are there. And I know you might say, Jermaine, what they got to do with it? Where's the guidance? That's what they got to do with it. Where's the guidance? Huh? Where's that at? Now, I understand some, because in many cases, children can have both parents there. They still don't pay attention to them anyway. So I'm just being totally honest with you. That's what it be. They don't pay attention. We could talk till we blue in the face. Kids going to still do what they want to do. It's just a fact. But I want to give y'all some other news. I want to let you know what's going on in California. It's a little snippet. It's nothing crazy, but it is a snippet for you to see what's going on. Venezuela and in Northern California. We're going to do California first, okay? Here we go.
Sizable quake to our north, injuring several people. The earthquake rattled nerves and knocked items off store shelves. A glass-shattering reminder in Mendocino County that sent alerts to more than 1 million people as far as Sacramento. Let's walk over to Madison Keevy joining me now with a look ahead at the cleanup efforts. There's lots to clean up and the potential aftershock impacts.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, you said it. There were reports of injuries, but no major damage. The quake knocked out power to thousands for most of today. And now, as the lights come back on, one of the most asked questions we've heard is more shaking still to come. From homes to grocery stores, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake rocked Mendocino County Wednesday morning, sending products flying off shelves, cutting power to thousands, and leaving residents shaken.
I've been here for 22 years. It's just never seen something like that before.
Shake map data shows what it felt like across the region, anywhere from a 3.5 to a 2.0 in parts of Sacramento County. And scientists fear something larger may be looming. A new study finds the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults in Southern California have reached their highest stress levels in 1,000 years, raising concerns about the possibility of a large earthquake hitting the state.
The USGS models forecast that in the next 30 years, there's about a 20% chance of a damaging earthquake on those faults.
It was only a 5.6. There's no freaking way. It was way bigger.
In Northern California, the ground may not be done moving. Richard Allen, director of the Berkeley Seismology Lab, says aftershocks are expected in the days ahead.
And the question then is simply how large those aftershocks will be. As I was saying, we might expect typically to have 1 magnitude 4.5 type of aftershock. We haven't had that yet, so it's quite possible we would have that in the coming days, and that would be normal.
And while the chances are small, scientists can't rule out a larger earthquake following. That's why experts say now is the time to review an emergency plan.
We all know we live in earthquake country. We all know that we need to have a plan. We need to have a kit. This is a great time to check on that kit. Make sure you have that kit ready to go.
For now, crews continue cleanup efforts as residents keep a close eye on what comes next. Now, we often hear about the San Andreas fault, but seismologists say it's just one part of a much larger fault system stretching across California. Now, today's earthquakes struck on the Macoma fault, one of several faults that run parallel to the San Andreas, and it's part of that broader fault system in our region. You learn something new every day. At least I did.
Yeah, they automatically go to the San Andreas fault,
Right.
but they got a lot of them. And people were surprised by the damage in this, 5.6, but there was a lot more damage than we thought.
Yeah, and of course, just what it felt like, you know, that was something that we heard from people there, that it felt like much larger than that number, of course, when you're.
So that happened in California, and sad, but no one got hurt, which is good. Our Earth is responding to what happens in rotation, because we are evolving constantly. We're moving. Things happen, the drilling of oil and everything. Our Earth responds to that stuff, and it's sad, but that's what's going on. It also took place in Venezuela, and I'm going to share that with you guys as well. Excuse me. Venezuela, it took place pretty bad out there. I'm going to I have a commercial that's up. I'm going to play that, and then we're going to get right into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy, share, and like what we're doing here. We do it twice a week. Sometimes if it get busy, we can't do it,
In more than a century.
but we try to.
We're getting new video after the quakes hit 8 hours ago, collapsing buildings in Caracas and causing widespread destruction. We just got off the phone with Hawaii chef Urian Rojas, who has family in Venezuela. He says while first responders are rescuing people in bigger cities and towns, many areas are on their own.
7.5.
People don't know where to
Venezuela.
go. People don't know. There is no shelter in place. There is no help. There is no, nothing. Especially when you live here and you see what's happened. For example, when the Maui fires, even that was a disaster. FEMA and the firefighters, police, everything, National Guard, everything comes together. They did something at the end. But over there it's like empty, like crickets.
Rojas tells us his family is okay, but their two homes and a car were damaged. The coastal state La Guaira has been declared a disaster zone, and the Caracas International Airport is temporarily closed.
So 7.5 out there in Venezuela. Lives lost, people are buried. It's crazy out there. I'm going to do another follow-up on this one because that is bananas. So just to let you know, 2 earthquakes along with the Mississippi police shooting. It's a lot. So I don't know what we're going to do, but hopefully some help, aid go over to Venezuela to help those people because they don't have a response, nor do they have the emergency management capabilities over there. And people are buried alive and they need to be rescued and aid need to be sent over there as well. So today, guys, our show is over. It's come to an end. I have to go. Tell a friend. It will be up. You guys enjoy your weekend. Share the word. God bless. Stay safe and protect yourself at all times. God bless.